All right, so well, why can't we talk to our fellow community members who are have different political views than we do? I reluctantly vote Democratic because I don't vote for Republicans, and a lot of times the other third party, we don't have ranked choice here in Ohio, and so forth, so forth. So let me cut to the chase. Try to. See, my eyes too close together. You can't trust what I say. But anyway, despite that, I have simian eyes. So, I relate as a non-human maybe. But I saw a video, and it was from I assume, a Democratic voter, which I myself am, in this two-party, big money, corrupted system. And the person was saying she relates to her brother, who she didn't talk to for years because of politics. He said she was posting liberal shit, quote unquote. But now she talks to him and about fishing and about her kids and so forth. But she's being interviewed by an established journalist. I don't remember the name. So, but what strikes me is like, wait a minute, why is it we can't talk politics? You're like, well, I mean, I get it. You want to have the basic common ground with our friends, family, coworkers, fellow community members. But politics, properly speaking, affects the lives, our families' lives, our loved ones' lives, our community members' lives, etc. So it makes no sense. Like, well, we can't talk politics. No, what is actually the case is, with a polarized, inaccurate, sort of two-party, big money corrupted divide and rule, that's not politics properly speaking. For example, if I were to interact or have a conversation with someone who's either, let's just for example say it's a Trump voter, a Republican, to simplify it, a Trump voter, then the question would be, how do we make America, the United States, how do we make the United States great again? How do we define that? And what are the policies and other measures that are conducive to being great? For example, if we're talking about industrial, economic greatness, then the question would be, how can we do that if we staff agencies with incompetent people because of so much prioritization of loyalty to Trump? So we say, how are we creating greatness? How can we be great in terms of science if we're cutting funding to scientific organizations? How can we be great in terms of energy sources if we're doubling down, tripling down on fossil fuels and not adequately addressing wind, solar, some would say even nuclear? Just how exactly are we going to be great when we are undermining our most valuable resource, which is our people? So if we're cutting education, we're cutting housing assistance, cutting pre-K or Head Start, just massive divestments from human resources for the well-being of millions of people. You can have a conversation based on that, and then just ask an honest question. It's not even a rhetorical question. It's cause and effect here. This is not partisan. How exactly does a country become great? By amassing just an extreme amount of power among a very, very small, extremely wealthy minority of people, which comes at the cost of the human investments, the human resource investments of the vast majority of its people. How do you become great in that way? Not only that, is how does the country become great when we keep adding trillions and trillions to the national debt? So you say, well, we're just going to have to cut programs. Well, you can't become great with cutting programs, cutting social investments, human resource investments, infrastructure investments. That's not the path to greatness. So then what is the option? The option then is to raise revenue. How do you raise revenue? You got to go where the money is. You have to, instead of borrowing trillions of dollars from the ultra wealthy, they have to be taxed. So that would require mass mobilization, grassroots organizing, with strength of numbers against the big money corruption of both political parties. So my ending here would be that it makes no sense to not, quote, talk politics. You have to talk politics. The issue is how we go about talking politics. We have to have a factual basis. Like you're building a bridge or you're trying to do heart surgery, whatever you're doing, you have to base the endeavor on established facts. And there are times when you have to take a chance, you experiment, not so established facts. But to engage in a productive way in this country, if we care about our community members, our family members, our country in general, the world in general, we have to deal with facts. And the indisputable fact would be the ultra-rich, mega-millionaires, centimillionaires, billionaires, giant, generally monopolistic corporations run both major political parties through campaign finance, lobbying, and regulatory capture. And now under Trump, they're just in the cabinet. I mean, some of the wealthiest people in the world are in the cabinet. So I'm going to end on that note. Thank you.